Hey, what's going on, everybody? Xpert here. Welcome back to another video. This one, a little different than normal content here on the channel. Nothing to do with universe mode. Well, in the normal sense anyway. No Raw, no SmackDown, no pay-per-view. Today, we're going to be taking a look at some questions you guys sent in for me at the beginning of the month. I am starting this new series where every month we'll be doing a Q&A session. If you guys have any questions for me, send them in through the community tab or on Twitter at Xpert. Follow that account if you haven't already. When I put the posts up at the very beginning of the month, and around the end of the month, I'll make a video responding to them all. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. This is the very first Q&A session. Hope it goes well. If it does, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, tap the notification bell to update on new videos here on the channel. Of course, click the join button to get access to all new videos, including this one. So without further ado, let's go right into the first few questions. Starting off over on Twitter, we only have a couple questions here. So the first one coming from Malik James 1. He says, favorite person whose name starts with an M. I feel like this is setting me up a little bit. I'm not sure, Malik. Favorite person whose name starts with an M. Let's see here. In the world. Favorite person whose name starts with an M. I'm going to have to go with Matthew Modine. Shout out Stranger Things. Shout out to everything else he's been in. Watching that a lot lately again. And yeah, he's great. So Matthew Modine is my answer to that question. Next one comes from Desi D Official. Of course, guessing SummerSlam. Check that out if you haven't already. He says, what is your future goals when it comes to the new universe mode? So I'm assuming when he means universe mode, he's talking about, season 2 coming up, because then it's season 1 was technically SummerSlam. So Raw would be the beginning of season 2. But yeah, so he wants to know what my future goals are when it comes to universe mode. And really, I guess my major goal when it comes to the series is really trying to just stand out from the rest of the pack, especially because like almost everybody does, kind of current WWE roster, Raw and SmackDown, or Raw and some other show, WWE Universe mode. And I mean, I'm not surprised, of course, as obviously the current thing. A few people obviously mix it up, like for while Nick in 2023, Nick did Anarchy for quite a while. Now he's back doing Raw and SmackDown. Dylan Tulin, of course, does Ruthless Aggression Era Universe mode. JW Boss does TNA and ACW, which is the Call series. J-Dog does NWA and WWF stuff. So people mix it up, but when it comes to this certain, I guess, subsection of universe mode content that I'm in, with like Raw, SmackDown, and all that stuff, the current WWE roster, yeah, my main goal is really just trying to stand out, really create something that not just that you guys are happy with, but something that I'm happy with at the end of the day as well. If the product isn't something that I'm pleased with, it's not coming out. Plain and simple. That's just how it goes. That's just how it's going to be always and forever on this channel. So yeah, mostly trying to stand out and make something that I'm happy with. Now going over to YouTube, the community tab, post. We have a bunch of replies to this one. We're starting off with a question from Stacy F. They say, what's pay-per-view after SummerSlam? So actually, I haven't announced this yet. This will be, I guess, officially announced. So you don't watch this video. This will be officially announced on Raw. But coming up, we actually have 2 pay-per-views after SummerSlam. One for Raw, one for SmackDown. I'm doing for, in between the big pay-per-views like SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Money in the Bank, etc. I'm doing pay-per-view exclusive to that brand. So like Raw and SmackDown will get on pay-per-views throughout the month. So coming up, we have a 4-week build to both. For Raw, coming up is Vengeance. And then for SmackDown, coming up will be Unforgiven, which will be live in Las Vegas. So that show will have a Las Vegas theme to it and some special stuff tied to the location of the show. Vengeance will most likely be international. I haven't decided yet actually where Vengeance is going to be, but yeah, Vengeance for Raw, Unforgiven for SmackDown. Now the next one comes from Maynard Johnson Music. They say, what would we have seen had there been no time jump in your universe mode? To be, I guess, honest, to be blunt, really, it would have been pretty boring, if I'm being honest. That's kind of the main reason why I decided to do the time skip in the first place, just to SummerSlam weekend and, continuing from there. I don't know, like following Payback, especially like Payback and Battleground, I feel like the series would have kind of just been boring. I wasn't, like, a lot of the things booking wise that I ended up, due to having the time, stepping away at the beginning of the year and having the time to really think about the series and like where I want to take it and stuff like that. I was able to kind of change some things that I wasn't really pleased with. Like, for example, getting rid of the tag team division entirely, at least for now, on Raw and SmackDown. Santos Escobar, that kind of feud, Rey Mysterio, really him getting pushed in general, if I'm being honest, because if you've been around for long enough, I had announced for the SmackDown episode 3 that never came out. The main event of that show was Santos, Roman, and Solo versus Rey, Mysterio, Jeff Hardy, Kevin Owens, a 6-man tag team match, and that would have been the main event of that show. And like that was in a part of the whole feud between Rey Mysterio and like all Def Fantasma and Kevin Owens, Solo Sikoa, and Jeff Hardy versus Roman Reigns going to the battleground. And like, yeah, I kind of just decided that I didn't push Santos anymore as like a main event heel. I kind of really push him at all. Legado, at least Joaquin and Cruz Del Toro, they'll still be around in some fashion. Same with Zelina Vega. They'll still be around in some fashion on SmackDown, but Santos, probably at least for now, will not be featured in the series. And I don't know, it's just because like I didn't really feel like pushing him anymore, like there's a lot more people on the roster that I kind of have more of attachment to, and I kind of, to be honest, I like more than Santos Escobar. So like that feud kind of got canned, and like his push altogether got canned. So yeah, it probably just been boring. Like really everything would have just been building towards Evolution SummerSlam anyway. So like, I mean, it would have been cool, I guess, kind of see the build up for some of those things, but for the most part, it would have felt like we were kind of running in place until SummerSlam and Evolution 2. So yeah, really a bunch of nothing. So the next one comes from a Big Don Game. They say, I'm trying to decipher this one. I understand probably English isn't the first language, so please be kind in the comments. I'm assuming, how is Universe Mode going to return in future episodes? Raw, SmackDown, or pay-per-view? So I would not be taking the co-train route to this and doing all pay-per-views going forward, which obviously has been seen in the community tab posts lately. We will be doing from now on Raw and SmackDown every week in kayfabe. Not in reality. It's not coming out every week. I can promise you that. I know Wrestle Plus does that. He's a machine when it comes to that stuff. Wrestle Plus with Raw and Mayhem coming out basically every week for a while now. Like he's killing it. Shout out to him. But yeah, Raw, SmackDown will be coming out like weekly shows, building towards pay-per-views. Like I said earlier, Vengeance for Raw and Forgiven for SmackDown for September, and then from there for October we'll get into what's coming up following Vengeance and Unforgiven. But yeah, so from SummerSlam onwards, it will be a regularly scheduled, I guess, traditional Universe Mode in that sense. So yeah, there you go, Big Don Game. There's the answers to your question. Now, these next ones, I have actually 3 kind of variations of the same question. So I'm just going to take 2 out of those 3 that kind of expand on the same thing a little bit more than the other one does. The first one comes from Little Trunks. They say, how did you book your SummerSlam? So SummerSlam, and I guess really Evolution 2, those 2 pay-per-views were, again, supposed to be kind of, not just the finale of season 1, like 2-part finale of season 1, but also a combination of, I guess, that season's storytelling going into it. Really the biggest one, I knew right out of the bat, right after I recorded that WrestleMania highlights video a year ago, I knew right off the bat that Roman Reigns was going to fall at SummerSlam. Like I knew straight up. That's one thing I can say for a fact has not changed at all throughout the last year of Universe Mode and kind of changing plans, going through plans and reconfiguring them in some way. Roman Reigns is always going to lose World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. Carmelo Hayes felt like the right man to do it because, he's like a young talent. He's a very, I guess you could say, I feel like Melo, what I'm trying to say is I feel like Melo, no script by the way for this video, isn't obvious. Melo feels like the type of guy that I want to personally build around, that I want to build this channel around. Like Cardona, WWE champion. It's a cool experiment. But I guess kind of going back to the Santos Escobar thing, like Cardona as WWE champion was a cool experiment at the time that I wanted to do. And I don't know, I liked it. It was fun. His reign, I will say, I won't say too much about it, but his reign did get cut short. He was supposed to lose SummerSlam originally, but obviously he ended up doing so to Cody Rhodes. But yeah, Roman was supposed to lose, and like I know for quite a while now that Carmelo Hayes was going to be like the guy that I built like this entire series, entire channel around, really for quite some time now. And SummerSlam, even if you didn't see like his kind of progression from, you know, coming in NXT champion to then winning Money in the Bank, then challenging Roman, you know, the build for that match, I still felt like it was going to hit. And thankfully it did. You guys literally like exploded in the chat when he won the World Championship at SummerSlam. And that means a lot to me. And yeah, his reign's going to be one to watch. So be sure to see that coming up in the next few weeks on SmackDown. But yeah, SummerSlam mainly was built around that. Melo and Roman, but the rest of the show was very fun to put together as well. Cardona and Cody, Gacy and the Demon. Again, that was kind of more of a feud that really relied on you seeing the build to that. Which I mean, that's like the one thing that I kind of wish, along with the influence being formed, like the two things that I wish you guys actually got to see out of like the, you know, the pre-time skip period of Universe mode. But besides that, like I said earlier, the rest of the series would have been pretty boring, I think. But yeah, I don't know. It was just really about wanting to put together the best show match-wise, and also wanting to tie up some storylines and some storylines, start some new ones that I have coming up that I'm very proud of. I'm very excited to see you guys, you know, witness those storylines come on screen, you know, show up on screen, I should say. But yeah, that's why I booked SummerSlam for the most part. All right, final question. This one comes from J-Dog Nation, another guest SummerSlam weekend. He was on Evolution 2, also JW Boss. They commentated Becky Lynch versus Deonna Purrazzo in a submission match. You can watch that match as a part of the Evolution 2, replay on the channel, or you can watch that in full on its own right now. J-Dog, he says, how do you decide who to push, who to make champions, who gets best storylines? Is it personal favorites? What's happening in real life? Other factors? I try to tackle this kind of, I guess, one question by one. I try not to let what's going on in real life influence my decision making too much. Like, I guess one big example is probably Santos, again, going back to him. Kind of his heel turn in real life and like the feud. I guess kind of the way he's been booked and like the way he's kind of performed since that heel turn kind of rubbed me the wrong way, I guess, when it comes to him. That's probably the main reason why he's not getting pushed anymore in Universe mode. But besides him, not really. I kind of just go to the beat of my own drum, if you will, you know. Like obviously Carmelo Hayes being World Heavyweight Champion, so he's Stark being Women's World Champion, stuff like that. Roxanne Perez being Rhea Ripley, the main event at Evolution 2, well, main event, quote unquote. Stuff like that, I think should probably, you know, show you guys that real life doesn't really influence my decision making too much. So how do I decide who to push, who to make champion? Really, it is kind of just like who my favorites are, if I'm being honest. Yeah, it really is mostly personal favorites. Like, again, Melo's a personal favorite of mine. It's always I think, as underrated, has a whole lot of potential that really hasn't been tapped into yet. As a promo, not really, but in ring, I think she does. Matt Cardona, since I was like, you know, growing up watching wrestling, like in that PG era, I think he's kind of been like a favorite of mine. Like when he was doing the Zack Ryder, like 2011, 2012-ish run, it was like a favorite of mine. And yeah, really the main thing, kind of going back to SummerSlam, or not going back to SummerSlam, going back to the press with Desi D earlier, is like, I really want to, like, it's a big goal of mine that I stand out, but also I don't want to make decisions just because they make me stand out, right? Like, again, Cardona WWE champion, like, that was, I think, really right off the bat, that was a choice that, like, okay, this universe mode is different than, you know, other people's universe modes. And I mean that in a bad way. Just like, okay, this guy, you know, he's something different. You know, like, again, WWE champion Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder, whatever you want to call him, is like insane, really, for anybody doing this. But yeah, like him becoming champion right off the bat was like really kind of that mission statement, I guess. Like obviously Roman was still World Heavyweight champion. You know, Gunther was still getting pushed. John Cena was US champion. like, yeah, that's really kind of the big decision of mine, I guess, that really, like, I think made me stand out, you know, it really got people like invested in the series. So I appreciate that. But yeah, for the most part, it's personal favorites like Cody, WWE champion. I love Cody Rhodes. Got a picture with him this year, actually, WWE live event, which was incredible. Yeah, it's really just mostly personal favorites. Who gets the best storylines? I didn't really decide, like, okay, this storyline is going to be good. This storyline isn't going to be good. It's just, you know, like, I write for, you know, I write the storylines for people, and if they end up being good, they're good. If they're bad, they probably won't be seen on screen, if I'm being honest. So, yeah, it's really mostly my personal favorites who I push. Although some people, like, there are some certain occasions where I push somebody I don't like, actually, like in PPP right now. Charlotte Flair is Women's World Champion in AEW. And the reason she's Women's World Champion is because she got over, like, with my booking of her character. Like, she got super over. So it's like, okay, I gotta put the belt on her. And, like, I'm not the biggest Charlotte Flair fan in the world in real life, like, at all. I was at one point, but not anymore. And yeah, like, she won the belt because she got over. Her character got over. And I was like, okay, well, I'm better to listen to the fans and, you know, give them what they want. Charlotte as world champion. And it's been a great experiment so far. I'm liking it a lot. The fans seem to be liking it a lot over there as well. So check it out if you haven't already. But yeah, that's really about it for the most part. Just personal favorites. Storyline wise, I don't really, you know, decide like what's a good storyline, what's meant to be a bad storyline. Really, on my storyline, trying to make them as good as possible. But yeah, that's really all I got for this question. And yeah, that's really all we got for the Q&A session today. Be sure to let me know in the comments down below you want to see more of these. Send in some more questions for next month's Q&A session. You want to in the comments below ahead of time. That'd be great. You know, any specific questions about, you know, me personally, about the channel, about, you know, maybe real life wrestling. If that's something you want to ask me about, get some thoughts on that. You know, anything and everything, basically, as long as it's not, you know, a little too risque. I'll answer it. I don't really care. But yeah, that's all I got for this Q&A. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and notification bell down below to get stay up to date on new videos. Hit the join button to get early access to all new from videos, along with many other perks. And yeah, I will see you for next video, which should be Monday Night Raw. Until then, this Xpert signing out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.